Toy Story 4 is the fourth installment of the Toy Story series and follows Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the toys as they do their best to make Bonnie's life great for her. When she goes to kindergarten orientation, she makes a toy named Forky who comes to life and doesn't quite understand what or who he is. However, it is the first time that Bonnie has shown any joy about kindergarten, and when her family decides to go on a road trip, Forky decides to escape and it's up to the toys to find him and bring him back to Bonnie. I would be lying if I said I didn't grow up watching the Toy Story films because they were a big part of my childhood and I love the first three films to death. I'd consider the first three films to be one of the best film trilogies ever, alongside the original Star Wars trilogy, the Dollars trilogy, the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, and the Evil Dead trilogy. However, with this film now out, it's no longer a trilogy. I was very skeptical about this film due to the fact that the third film ended the series perfectly, and this would ruin it by being nothing more than a soulless cash grab. However, after seeing this film, I can say that this was a huge surprise and absolutely exceeded my expectations. The voice acting in this film is just as good as it was in the previous films. Tom Hanks is once again phenomenal as Woody, and Tim Allen is great as usual as Buzz Lightyear. Hanks really shines here thanks to his incredible chemistry he has with Annie Potts as Bo, and their relationship in the film is one of the best things about it. Annie Potts is also great as Bo Peep, and is given a lot more to do here than in Toy Story 1 and 2. Tony Hale does a really great job as Forky, and is consistently hilarious in every scene he's in as the character. Key and Peele are also fantastic in their roles, and their comedic timing is just fantastic. Christina Hendricks is very good in her role, and our holy Lord and Savior Keanu Reeves is hilarious as Duke Kaboom, and is probably the best new character in the film. I was surprised at how much I liked the new characters, considering I was worried that these characters would be annoying and useless, but I would say that they are some of the best characters in the whole series. The best thing about Toy Story 4 is its awe-inspiring and breathtaking animation. This is a gorgeous film from beginning to end. Everything looks incredible and has so much detail and care put into it. There are parts of the movie where the animation was so good that I thought it was photorealistic. The opening scene of this film takes place in the rain, and all the raindrops and puddles are so intricately crafted and well done that it looked real and did not feel like an animated film. The lighting and textures of things like the environment and characters' clothing were just so well done. I usually do not like CG animated films and prefer hand-drawn and stop-motion features, but this film just impressed me so much that it's making me appreciate CG animation more. Pixar really evolves a lot in their animation with each new film they release, and this might be the best looking film they've done yet. Another great thing about Toy Story 4 is its humor. This is an incredibly hilarious film, mostly due in part to the new characters and the fact that it didn't play it safe with its humor. There are many jokes that made me chuckle quite a bit, but there were also a few that they got away with that really surprised me. I was afraid this was going to be a safe and clean kids film, but it wasn't, and that makes me glad. The idea of how Forky thinks he's trash and keeps wanting to throw himself away was darkly funny to me. The main villain is a horror movie introduction I didn't expect to find as hilarious as it was. Also, the villain's minions look a lot like the dummy Slappy from the Goosebumps franchise. All the new characters are also hilarious and inject a lot of really funny jokes and scenes into this film. Another thing I liked in this film was the main antagonist. Without getting into spoilers, the villain of this film is a much different character from previous antagonists like Sid, Stinky Pete, and Lotso, and has an interesting motive that makes you feel sympathetic towards them. I like that this film tried to do something different with his antagonist instead of just going the route of their previous films. This film also takes the character in a direction that I did not expect, and I honestly found it heartbreaking. If there's anything else I liked about Toy Story 4, it's that the relationship between Woody and Bo Peep was very well done and touching. The previous films showed them being flirtatious towards each other and hinted at a relationship, but never really had any depth and emotional weight until this film. Their relationship was handled perfectly, and this film redeemed the character of Bo Peep. The direction by Josh Cooley is also great. There's a lot of energy brought to the film, especially during the action. For a feature debut, this was a superb effort. This film is also very touching and has great themes of second chances, moving on, and the toys looking at the true purpose they serve. This film got me teary-eyed a little bit while watching it, which is something that most films that I've seen can't make me do. Overall, Toy Story 4 is a fantastic film and a satisfying conclusion to this franchise, hopefully, that I didn't expect to be as good as it was. With how cynical I am towards anything Disney does these days, I was very worried that this film would ruin three perfect films, but they somehow managed not to ruin them and also make a film that's just as good as those films. This is an incredibly enjoyable film that proves why Toy Story is one of the best animated franchises of all time, and it's currently the best movie I've seen this year so far. Even though this film was fantastic, I really hope Disney doesn't continue this franchise with more movies, because there's nothing else to really tell, and they would certainly be cash grabs. I would say go see this film, but I'm pretty sure I don't have to, considering so many people have nostalgia and love for these films. I am giving Toy Story 4 an A+.